Good morning. Good morning. Oh my God, I'm 20 minutes late. It's been a crazy morning so far. I've been having really serious computer issues this morning. Technical difficulties, you know how that is, especially when you my age, you can't deal with that type of stuff. I tell you, I tell you, I got a good show today. This is episode number 8. I had to be a little creative, so things look a little different. I hope you guys can hear me pretty well. Yeah, I hope you guys can hear me pretty well. Today, my topic today is leaning into doubt for personal growth. I'm your professional certified life and health coach and trained mental health counselor. And I really want to talk about this subject because a lot of times we look at doubt in such a negative way. We connect it to insecurity and things like that, even though it does, operate in that manner, depending on how we depending on how we utilize it, right? And so I want to talk to you today about leaning into doubt for personal growth because when I think about, let me just define doubt. Doubt is based on the dictionary, uncertainty or lack of conviction about something, or I would say, in other words, it's a feeling of not being certain about something, especially how good or true it is. We often doubt when we're not sure of things. There's ways that it is healthy to question things. Don't get me wrong, it's healthy. But when doubt becomes excessive, it can paralyze us not to move into action and limit the growth that we have before us. And so I'm going to show you guys some different things where there's different types of doubt, but I'm going to show you how doubt can be very helpful. It's actually utilized to be helpful. It's purpose in doubting, but and it's also horrible experience when you do not have a way of moving past doubt. And that's what we get into trouble with. So it's always healthy to question. But when we turn into this is how we do it. We obsess about it through our personal lenses, how we see the world. It that type, when we do that, that hinders the decision-making process that we have and also our progress and growth. And that's what we don't want to get stuck in. We don't want to idolize doubt. So, we get to a place where we stuck in doubt, where we idolize in something that don't even exist, to be honest with you. It's just some of the insecurities that we may face. It Doubt comes when we fail to stop. Sometimes with the pause, pause long enough to observe the evidence that's in front of us, because there's evidence that show that we are that that we have truth in front of us. So we have to make sure that we use doubt to serve in a right way. It's valuable. It's a valuable signal. Doubt is a valuable signal that prompts us to reassess the situation. If you really understand what I'm talking about, it helps us reassess. So you face a situation, and you're like, things come towards your way. Things are moving so fast these days. We have to really be careful with decisions. We have to be careful on what we do. We have to be careful on how we talk to people and all of that. But we have to be mindful when we run into doubt, that's signaling our bodies, is signaling our mind to pause, reassess our options, and it leads to a more thought-provoking decision making. It opens us up for being more thoughtful in our decision making and encourage us to gather more information so we can operate in truth. Because that's what we're really seeking for, right? We're seeking for truth, because when when we don't have all the information, we are going to be skeptical. We are going to have doubt. That's normal. It's normal to have doubt. But I want you to learn how to lean into doubt. just like I'm gonna give you an example of Thomas in the Word of God. Thomas, he leaned into doubt. You know, he didn't allow the excessiveness of doubt to not move him into a decision. But what he did, Thomas in the Bible, we give him I've heard sermons on Thomas a lot. Heard a lot of sermons on Thomas, and when I heard it, it was always in the like he didn't have enough faith in that context, right? And so I want to utilize Thomas because a lot of mental a lot of our mental health answers are in the Word of God. And I always like to correlate them together because a lot of times people think psychology is irrelevant. No, a lot of the techniques that we use in counseling stems from the Bible. So that's why I like to come to talk to you about it, because if you want to get the root cause, you have to know what you got to be specific about what you're aiming for. And the Bible always have answers. The Bible has all the answers to our mental health, to our physical health, to our spiritual health, to our social life. All of this stuff is in the Bible that we miss. Like me, I read the Bible not because I want to go to heaven or I'm obligated. I read the Bible because I want to know who Jesus is. Who is this that died on the cross for me? So I can, because he knew I could never meet the mark. And who gave me this grace? And how do I live my life? And what is the purpose of him doing all of this for me? This is why I read the Bible. I want answers to life. And so, and it also helps me navigate through life because all the answers are there. But I want to talk about Thomas. People give him a bad rap, but I'm going to tell you, Thomas, also known as Doubting Thomas in the Bible. He's in, if you want to know the location, it's John chapter 20. And I want to talk to you because when he doubted, there was purpose in that. He wanted truth. It's nothing wrong when you doubt something because you need truth. Truth will set you free. And so you need that. I'll tell you a lot about that as I go through the different types of doubt. I'll tell you some things that I had to encounter and how important it was for me to have that same thought process that Thomas had. You got to question some of this stuff out here, I'm telling you. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna read a few verses above because it's important that you know the context. So in verse 19, it said that Sunday evening, the disciples were meeting behind locked doors because they were afraid of the Jewish leaders. Suddenly, Jesus was standing there among them. Jesus said, "Peace be with you," he said. As he spoke, he showed them the wounds. This is the part I want you to hear. He showed them the wounds in his hands and side, and they were filled with joy, and they saw the Lord. So that's God. Jesus showed himself to them. He appeared to them. He appeared to the disciples at that time. But when Thomas wasn't present then, and I'll show you why. In verse 24, if you move further down, one of the 12 disciples, Thomas, nicknamed the twin, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, "We have seen the Lord." But he replied, "I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into his side." 8 days later, the disciples were together again. This time, Thomas was with them. So look at the context. Thomas was with them. He wasn't with them when Jesus showed them. He showed them, the other disciples, his wounds, but Thomas wasn't with them. He had every right to say, "Wait a minute. I need to know if I need to see this, and this, and then I believe." He had every right to be skeptical. But if you notice, if you read further in chapter 11, you will notice that Thomas had no problem following Jesus. So he had no issues in that area. But when when he encountered Jesus, things changed. So 8 days later, the disciples were together again. And this time, Thomas was with them. The doors were locked. But suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. He said, "Peace be with you." Then he said to Thomas, because I love this part, because Jesus know how to meet you where you are. That's what he did. He met Thomas. He didn't discard him. He met him where he was. "Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into in the wound of my side." Don't, and he's prepping him. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe. Here's Thomas' response. That's why I say it's purpose in what he was doing. Thomas was like, "My Lord, my God." Then Jesus told him, this part is interesting because I think this is for us too, because it was part for Thomas, but mostly for us. Jesus told him, "You believe because you've seen me," which is true. He's seen him. And so he believed. "But blessed are those who believe without seeing me." We don't see him. So blessed that we believe in Christ and we haven't even seen him, right? And so this is really basically I really wanted to show you guys this because this is the foundation of how doubt is normal, but how Thomas approached doubt is healthy because he wanted to know the truth. He wanted to do his due diligence. There's a time where, Jesus is returning. And in the Bible, it talks about people going to be saying, "I saw Jesus," or "I'm the Christ." People going to say, "I'm the Christ." But we have to have enough information biblically to understand, is it true or false? And so we have to be careful because this is, doubt, and not assessing your doubt and knowing where your doubt, how to deal with doubt, can be detrimental to your future as well. I'll show you that. I'll show you some examples of that. There are different forms of doubt. And so that's what I want to explore. So there's self-doubt, where we doubt ourselves. And so when you have self-doubt, this is when individuals, I got Jesus on my heart so much, I'm talking about him so much, and keep just coming out. But anyway, this is when individuals lack confidence in their own abilities, in their own abilities, judgment, or worth. It can lead that can lead to insecurity and reluctance to take risks, because what happens is, I know for me, I don't doubt my own abilities because God blessed me with a lot of gifts. He had blessed me with all the things I need to deal with people and stuff like that. I don't have problems in that area. What I do struggle with, I don't have struggle with my worth either. But what I do struggle with when it comes to with self-doubt sometimes is the decisions that I make, judgment calls. And because if I put emotion in it, I'm in trouble. If I seek truth, then I'm on the right path. And so, and when you don't utilize, like, for instance, if you lack confidence in your abilities, stop looking at perfection, because we are not perfect. You may have the ability, it just may not be at its perfect form. It's developing and it's evolving. And if you lack worth, that's a whole different thing. You have to do the work in that area. But when it comes to decision making, if you don't make the proper decisions, it will lead to insecurity because you will be down on yourself and beat yourself up because you didn't make the right choices. And so it'll force you to kind of step back and not want to move at all. And we don't want to get to that point. We don't want to let self-doubt be an issue. So if you want to overcome self-doubt, you got to recognize the challenges of your negative thought patterns and build your self-confidence through, your small achievements, and seek support from others if you have to. Practice self-compassion, because we all need that when it comes to things like that. So we really have to be careful, be mindful of those things, and make sure that when we have self-doubt, we know exactly where the self-doubt is coming from, for one, and then address it, because there's nothing wrong with that. It's going to happen. you're going to have doubt in different areas. Then there's doubt in others. That's a big one. This occurs when people question other people's intentions or competence or reliability of others. It sometimes can put a strain on relationships. But me personally, I'm gonna tell you how I operate. I ain't saying it's a fact. I'm not saying that that's the way you should, but this is the way I operate. I trust you to be human. Humans are flawed. Humans are imperfect. Humans are, they have abilities, they have competence, they have gifts, but I trust you to be human. But I do not put my trust in man when it comes to certain things. I don't put you in a category in you being human. I don't put an expectation on you that you cannot meet, which is perfection, because none of us are perfect. We sometimes can put high expectations on relationships and how they should act and how they should do. And I trust you to be human. I trust that I'm going to encounter a situation with you possibly that may cause me to have to give you mercy, forgiveness. I may have to pray for you. I may have to love on you regardless of what happened. That's being human. I trust that you're going to behave in a way that you don't mean to, but you behaving because of what you might be dealing with. That's the expectation I have for people as humans. I do not judge. I do not trust. I mean, I don't trust them 100% to be perfect. That's not how I deal with humanity. I trust the Lord all the way. But when you put your trust in others 100% to give you things that they cannot give you, then you put your trust in the wrong seat. You said don't put your trust in man because they will deceive you. Because we're human, we make mistakes. So you can't put your trust in man to the point that you lose yourself, or you may trust them in the area that they don't have. They shouldn't have that type of area, that trust in that area. So you have to really be careful with how you trust others. And have you developed, like my son would say, have you developed enough relationship equity to trust that person? Have you done your research when you're meeting people? Have you done your due diligence by gathering the information you need? If you're a certain way in a relationship with me, I got a choice. I could deal with you according to knowledge, but I don't have to trust you 100%. In a relationship don't mean that I wouldn't have a good relationship with you. It's just that I know that you may be the type that may not show up at certain things all the time, or you may be the type of person that don't that'll tell me you will come, but you don't. When that day come, you don't. There's some behavior pattern behind that. But now I know how to deal with you going forward, and I get to choose if I want to be in a relationship with you. That's how you use doubt in that area, not to judge that person, but how to proceed in a relationship, because you have gathered enough knowledge to know how do I go forward in a relationship. And so I don't put my trust in you for my salvation or my growth. I don't put my trust in man in that way. And so, and I don't put my trust in, powerful people, because my God on there, he's my God on everything, and anything that I need, he would never withhold anything good from me. So if it's something I need, he's going to provide. And that's why I trust. And then there's doubt in institutions like governments and schools and organizations. Let me tell you, we're in the voting season. And I remember when I used to go, how I learned to vote when I was younger. They used to tell me, my parents used to be, okay, go vote. And when you vote, just go up there and just vote Democrat straight. That's how I learned to vote. But that's not the proper way to vote. You have to do your due diligence, because if you're going to go to the poll and vote, you got to recognize you voting for people. You have to know who you vote for. You have to, because if you are accountable, the Bible even say it, you are accountable for who you vote for, because you actually voting about beliefs and all of that. So be mindful when you go to vote. Do your due diligence on who you put, because it's ultimately affecting not just you, but your children, your grandchildren, the future. Um, and so and then when you in church, you may have doubt in the church you in. If you do, let it be according to the word of God. Have some type of standard that you utilize to get your truth. You have to get truth, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for truth. Doubt in those areas, it's because you're seeking truth. And that's all you have to do. Don't idolize it to the point that it stunts your growth, but allow it to cause you to seek truth. And there's nothing wrong with that. You learn and grow. That's what we're here to do. And then there's relationship, doubt in your relationship. If you have a doubt in your relationship, go seek counseling. If you're married, go seek counseling, because it may be a communication roadblock. It could be roadblocks where it can be something that can be worked out, or it could be actually something that show you didn't do your due diligence when you got this relationship. So you may not be able to go forward and continue in this relationship because it may be toxic. We have to when you in a relationship, a lot of times people go in a relationship, they tell all about themselves, but they never seek the information about the other person. Look for incongruencies. Look for the language. Look in the language. What are these people? What are they saying? Because they being honest most of the time. When they come at a while, you start seeing the pattern. That pattern is real. And so you want to make sure that you really when you seek out friendship, relationships, or anything, look at the patterns. Look at what you see in front of you. Let me tell you something. Having a little doubt is not bad, but if it's constant, that's a problem. I had a situation, I was going into, as you in business, you get a lot of people that come into your life with all kind of offers and stuff like that, where you have to make decisions. That's what I'm getting into the next one, the doubt in decision making. It kind of correlate with relationships a little bit, because now you got to make a decision. And so I was in a situation where someone wanted me to join their organization, and and they came with the Lord and all of that. But as I was, digging deeper, I started to get this unsettledness in my spirit. And I was like, what's going on? I'm starting to doubt. I joined this organization, and I'm starting to like see things. I'm seeing some leadership issues and things that I'm like starting to say, I don't trust this. Something going on, something happening. I don't get it. And so as I began to get into the more and more in depth into now I'm doing my due diligence, which I should have did before, but it wasn't a big deal then. But when things started, more opportunities and more, now you need money, and big money, not little money, where it's I can get you from here to here, and you add God into the equation, but your character don't display that. I was like, whoa. I stepped back. I was like, no, this ain't for me. And started to dig deeper and say, now next time I'm not joining nobody's organization where I see inconsistency in character, because now I'm touching and agreeing with your foolishness. And so I had to say, wait a minute, hold up, step back. Now I'm like, when people come to me, I need time. I don't make decisions right away anymore. I say, wait a minute, let me think about it. I have to think about it. I have to do my due diligence. And I have to say, is it going to add value? How is it going to affect me spiritually, financially, emotionally, personally? All of that. All of that is important. When somebody say, I'm giving you this and this is the deadline, you got to act quickly. No, that's a red flag for me. I have to step back. I have to say, no, what am I doing? If I have to do my due diligence, gather truth, so I doubt. And so that's another thing that I definitely make sure that I pay attention to is my red flag. You rushing me, that's a red flag for me. One opportunity, this is the only opportunity, I don't do that. I don't function like that. And so I use doubt, and I'm using doubt in a way where I step back, assess the situation, and then move forward. So understanding these different forms of doubt, it's more, but understanding the ones I'm telling you, it really help you address the uncertainty that you may have, but it also is going to lead you to to greater clarity and confidence in what you believe in your actions that you take. You always want to have clarity in your actions, especially now because people are vying for your attention, your money, your resources. Some people are banking off of your insecurities. So be careful. Lean into doubt. Let doubt have its perfect work in you by doing your due diligence, seeking out the truth, foster critical thinking that we have the ability to foster. Be humble and go to God and say, Lord, I'm heading for a decision to make, and I have doubt about it. And why do I have doubt? Ask those questions. He'll give you the answer. Explore how it can lead to, doubt leads to self-reflection and personal development. Let it do its perfect. Let it have its perfect work in you. And remember, doubt, it's not permanent. It's not a permanent position. We're going to doubt in different situations. It's situational. It's not a permanent position. It's situational. So take each situation, assess it, gather your information so you can feel confident in in whatever you do, and you can eliminate that doubt at that moment. Rethink, gather your information, get the truth, and push toward a decision. Let doubt have its perfect work. So lean into doubt. Don't be afraid of doubt. So what you doubt? We're going to doubt all the time. You should doubt. It's okay to doubt. Let it be something that's positive versus negative. So that's what I wanted to come and talk to you guys today. I'm so sorry that I came on late. It was a little frustrating for me because these systems don't work right. Kind of throw you off, but you can't let it throw you off. I still wanted to come on and give you the information I want to give you. And I just want to tell you, I'm working on in April, the month of April, I am working on getting together a workshop. All through May, I'm gonna have workshops because I'm only taking groups of 10. And what the workshop is gonna be about is managing anxiety. I'm gonna tell you something. Suicide is real, trauma is real, anxiety is real, depression is real. All of these things are real, but we need help in these areas because we are in now. People are isolating more, and people are struggling more. People are struggling in silence. If you see some of your loved ones that's not coming that like they used to, or they isolate, check on them. I'm telling you, this is so real. People are having so many struggles that it's causing so much grief in their life, but they don't know how to function in that. Check on your loved ones. Don't assume that they're okay. I have some people I need to check on today, but make sure you check on your loved ones who you haven't heard from or kind of backed off a little bit. Friends, family, associates that you haven't seen in your presence. Don't assume that they're okay. This is real. So I decided for the month of May, which is Mental Health Month, I decided to put on some workshops I'm taking 10 people at a time because it's an interactive workshop. I'll tell you all the stuff that you get when you sign up for it. If you're interested, inbox me. If you have my number, text me so you can get on the list. Give me, some dates. I'll give out the dates pretty soon. I have a flyer I'm putting together. But I really want you guys to get involved in this workshop. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it's not gonna just help you. It's gonna be you'll be able to utilize these tools and throughout with your children, with your family, and all of that. So don't underestimate this workshop. It's going to be really good, but it's going to be interactive. I'm giving you a skill set to teach you how to manage anxiety, worry, stress, and also fear. I'm giving you tools to do that. It's going to be you're going to get a workbook and also other things that come with it. Prizes and stuff like that. So it's going to be very interactive. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be in the month of May, after the month of May, because I want to take the stigma out of mental health continually. I want to continue to work on that piece. I'm going to have workshops that deal with other things because other things that God has blessed me with to put together. So be on the lookout for that. And thank you for joining. Happy Monday. I will definitely continue to share what God put on my heart. Don't forget, lean into doubt so you can have personal growth and also gather the truth because the truth will set you free. Holla at you next Monday. Holla at you signing off. Have a happy Monday. Enjoy your day. Hmm.